Whenever we considered in the last session, we considered related to the commutation circuits. Okay. So whenever you in the commutation circuits, you are going to have natural commutation as well as the forced commutation. Natural commutation is going to be employed in the AC circuits, and coming to the forced commutation, the forced commutation is going to be employed in the DC circuits, isn't it? Why forced commutation is considered in the DC circuits means in whenever the potentials, whenever the DC voltages and currents are going to be considered, they are going to be having finite magnitude. They are going to have the finite magnitude of voltage and current throughout its time axis. So the current will never become less than holding current value naturally. So we are going to consider we are going to consider some elements, and on the basis of those elements we are going to simply make the current force to less than holding current value, isn't it? That is what we considered, and those commutation circuits are going to be, and those commutation circuits are going to be, and those commutation circuits are going to be classified to be as 6 types: class A to E and class F, isn't it? Okay, then after that, what is the topic which we need to consider here is going to be the protection circuits. We need to consider the protection circuits for the SCR. Okay, so whenever you are going to consider these protection circuits, you are going to have uh, you are going to have different types of protection circuits. Okay, before moving to this, what we need to consider means what is the need for this protection, from what parameters we need to consider this protection, that should be known. Okay, so for that, what we need to consider means we need to consider different parameters related to the SCRs, related to this SCR, that may be voltage parameters, current parameters, power parameters, as well as gate circuit parameters, temperature parameters. On that basis only, if you get clarity related to the parameters which are associated with the SCRs, then only you are going to get an idea related to from what parameters we need to protect the device. Okay, so for that, simply I am sharing a PDF related to the thyristor ratings. Okay, this is what we need to consider before considering the uh, uh, protection circuits. Okay, so from what we need to protect the device. Okay, so whenever we need to consider this, all the devices are going to be, all the thyristors are going to be provided with certain ratings of voltage, power, current, temperature. When the devices are going to be operated with when the devices are going to be operated with the same magnet with the limited values within the permissible limits, then the operation is going to be reliable and it can be performed for certain years or certain a long time. If the values or the ratings of the device are going to be are going to be reaching beyond the defined values, then simply it leads to the damage and malfunction of the devices. Okay, so generally the thyristor ratings are going to be defined to be of voltage ratings, current ratings, and power, as well as temperature ratings. Okay, so whenever you are going to consider these, those are going to be defined. The voltage ratings may be defined to be as forward voltage ratings as well as reverse voltage ratings. Okay, so you may observe from this curve which is represented here. So from this point O to this, that is going to be the forward voltage applied across the device, isn't it? From this point to this, that is going to be minus VA, reverse voltage applied across the device, isn't it? Okay, so what are the parameters which are known earlier to us? Only one parameter that is known to us, that is going to be the forward breakover voltage VB naught and reverse breakover voltage VBR, isn't it? Is the screen available with the waveform?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so previously, whenever we considered the static characteristics of the SCR, the static characteristics of the SCR gives information related to forward breakover voltage Similarly, reverse breakdown voltage, isn't it? So whenever the voltage value reaches beyond this, whenever the voltage value reaches beyond this, the SCR is moving to the conducting state. That is what we are familiar up to now. Okay, but along with this, there may be certain values both in the forward voltage as well as for the reverse voltage, which are going to be which are going to be considered, which are need to be considered when the device is going to be in the forward blocking mode. Those voltages and currents are going to be, some of them are going to be repetitive, some of them are going to be non-repetitive values. Okay, so some voltages are going to be repetitive values and some values are going to be non-repetitive values and some are going to be the working values. Okay, so in this waveform you may consider three types of voltages, three magnitudes of voltages, isn't it? So the upper part represents the forward voltage and the lower part of the axis represents the reverse voltage. Okay, so here in this case you are going to have a voltage value defined by this line. One voltage is defined by this line, okay, and another voltage is defined by this peak value here, isn't it? That is defined as VDRM, okay, and the other is defined to be as VDSM, which is going to have a quite higher magnitude. Okay, these values are going to be some of the values which are going to be prevailing across the device when it is intended for the operation. Okay, so here whenever you are going to consider what is this particular magnitude, what is this particular magnitude of voltages, those are going to be those magnitudes are going to be defined by the subscript which is defined here. So you are going to have VDWM, VDRM, VDSM, isn't it? Okay, so this V stands for, as you know that the V stands for voltage. Okay, then coming to this D, what is this D means? The D stands for the blocking state of the device. The D stands for the blocking state of the device. Okay, if you are going to consider the lower values here, V stands for the voltage and the first subscript R stands for the reverse blocking state. Okay, then you are going to have the other, that is going to be the W, R and S, isn't it? So the W is going to be nothing but the working voltage. So forward blocking state, working, maximum working voltage. VDWM stands for forward. So here the first subscript stands for the state of the device. Second subscript stands for the voltage, which is going to be the voltage, and third subscript stands for the maximum value. Always the third subscript stands for the maximum value. Second subscript defines the which voltage value we are going to consider, and the first subscript here defines the state of the device. Okay, so here you are going to have one, that is going to be VDWM. So VDWM is going to be the forward blocking state maximum working voltage. W stands for working. Okay, coming to this VDRM, R stands for repetitive. Why it is considered to be as repetitive means that this particular magnitude of voltage is going to be happened, is going to be happened in numerous times when you are going to consider the operation. That is going to be this value, this value. Similarly, you may have another like that. So VDRM is going to be the forward blocking blocking state repetitive voltage, maximum repetitive voltage. Okay, then coming to this VDSM, this S stands for the surge value. S stands for the surge value. It is going to be the maximum surge value that occurs once or twice, that occurs only once in the cycle, complete cycle of operation. In the complete time span of operation, these surge values may be occurred at sum of once. Those are considered as the non-repetitive values and the remaining are considered to be as the repeating values, and here you are going to have the working values. Okay, so similarly in the reverse voltage, reverse state also, reverse working voltage, VRWM, that is going to be the reverse working voltage. VRRM, that is going to be the reverse state repetitive maximum voltage, and VRSM, this VRSM is going to be the repetitive, VRSM is going to be, sorry, non-repetitive surge voltage, non-repetitive surge voltage. So those voltages are going to be like this here in the waveform. This will be 0 voltage, this will maybe 500 volts, this may be 600 volts, this may be 700 volts, and this may be 1000 volts if it is going to be the blocking voltage. All these values are going to be defined below breakover voltage, and all these reverse voltages are also going to be defined below the breakdown voltage in the reverse. Okay, so that is what defined here. So the first subscript defines the state. It may be D for forward blocking region, R for reverse blocking region, T for the on state, and F for the forward. So that means if you are going to consider the voltage as, if you are going to consider the voltage to be as VFSM, VFSM, so that is going to be the forward state surge voltage, maximum surge voltage. Okay, so all these parameters are going to be, so D stands for the first subscript, D stands for blocking region, T stands for on state, R stands for reverse, F stands for the forward. Okay, so coming to the second subscript, the second subscript is going to be working value, maybe a working value, maybe a repetitive value, maybe a surge value. So surge values are going to be nothing but the non-repetitive values. And if T is represented in the second subscript, it represents the triggering value. Okay, and third subscript is commonly always it is going to be the maximum value defined. Okay, so when you are going to consider the voltage values, the voltage ratings are going to be, the voltage ratings are going to be defined to be as all these: forward peak working forward blocking voltage, peak repetitive forward blocking voltage, peak surge or non-repetitive forward blocking voltage. All these voltages are going to be defined for the device. Similarly, peak working reverse voltage, peak repetitive reverse voltage. Okay, all these voltages are going to be defined for whatever the SCR you are going to consider. Whatever the SCR we are going to consider, for all these SCRs, these all these parameters are going to be defined. Okay, so the VT is going to be the on state voltage drop. Generally it is going to be 1 to 1.5 volts defined in the specifications sheet. Okay, then forward dV by dt rating, forward dV by dt rating. Okay, then VF, that is going to be the voltage safety factor. VF voltage safety factor is going to be defined as peak reverse voltage divided by root 2 times of this RMS value of input voltage. Its value is always lies between 2 and 2.5. All these are going to be the parameters associated with the voltage in the case of a thyristor, which are defined in all the which are defined for all the SCRs in the specification sheet. Similarly, you are going to have the current ratings. Okay, so the current ratings are going to be considered to be as the first one as the holding current. As you know that, what is the holding current? The holding current is going to be the minimum current across the SCR, which makes the device to move to the blocking state when its value falls below that, when its value falls below that. So that is the holding current may be defined as the minimum value of anode current below which the device stops conducting and returns to its off state when its value is smaller, when its value falls below that. So its value is always in terms of milliamps, and then the other is going to be the latching current. The latching current is defined to be as the minimum on state current required to keep the device in the on state. Okay, so whenever one thing to be remembered here is this one, this last point, that is going to be after the removal of the triggering pulse, after the removal of the triggering pulse. So in the case of a latching current, whenever the triggering pulse is going to be removed, the minimum current required to place the device in the on state is the latching current. Okay, so why we are stating this removal of the gate pulse? removal of the gate pulse means due to the uncertainty in the power circuit, that means you may have a voltage fluctuations, you may have the current fluctuations provided. When an SCR is provided with a uh, when the SCR is provided with the gate triggering, and if there is any fluctuations in the circuit, what will happen means the device comes to the conduction initially, okay, but as soon as the gate signal is removed, the device may reverse back to the blocking state. The device may reverse or latches back to the blocking state. Okay, so that particular current may not be considered as a latching current. Okay, so the latching current is going to be the current which is going to be which holds the device in the which keeps the device in the blocking conduction state after the removal of the triggering pulse, after the removal of the triggering pulse. Okay, so that particular value is going to be the latching current value. It is also going to be generally in terms of milliamps. Okay, then you are going to have the gate current parameters. The gate current parameters, as you know, that it is going to be defined always in two, that is going to be Ig minimum and Ig maximum. So Ig minimum value and maximum value. So always the gate current is to be chosen between this minimum value and maximum value. If the value is chosen to be less than minimum value, triggering is not possible. If the value is chosen beyond the maximum value, then you may have the damage in the gate circuit, or the temperature of the gate junction is going to be, gate cathode junction is going to be increasing. Okay, so gate current value is going to be always defined in Ig minimum and Ig maximum. Then you are going to have one more parameter, that is going to be the di by dt rating. This is the this indicates the maximum rate of rise in the current. This indicates the maximum rate of rise in the current value. Okay, so this value is defined for the device. This value di by dt rating value is going to be defined for the device. Okay, what will happen if this value is going to be much higher? Means the first consequence of this is going to be the rise in the temperature. Okay, so critical rate of rise of current, critical rate of rise of current. If the critical rate of rise of current is going to be highest, then what will happen means immediately the junction temperature is going to be reaching, junction temperature is going to be reaching, and as the temperature junction is going to be reaching high, then ultimately it leads to the damage of the device. Okay, so one of the parameter what we need to consider while considering the SCR is going to be this di by dt rating. Protection is needed from this di by dt rating. Okay, then the other one is going to be the I square T rating. This I square T rating is generally used in the protecting devices. That means a fuse which is provided as a protection, primary protection for the SCR. For each SCR in general, in normal converter circuits or inverter circuits, in general, this I square or T rating is going to be considered to measure the instantaneous current rating, and on this basis only the protection device fuses may be employed. Okay, so that is related to the I square R devices. And IRMS, this is going to be the on state RMS, root mean square value, which is flowing through the current. So to prevent the excessive heating, the main purpose of this is to prevent the excessive heating across the device. This value is going to be always to be in the defined value. So excessive heating is going to be generally considered in the case of ohmic contacts, junctions and metallic joints, which are going to be heated due to this IRMS value. Okay, so then surge current rating, this surge current rating is going to be an abnormal value. Surge current rating is going to be nothing but an abnormal value. So what is this abnormal value means? It may occur somewhere, it may occur at one or two instants, or may not occur in the operation. So but the device is to be defined for this abnormal value also. So whenever we need to choose a device for an operation, we need to consider this surge current rating. Okay, so such that the current if the surge current rating of that particular value, if provided in the circuit also, the device should withstand the operation without any damage. Okay, then on state current value, average on-state current value. This is needed for the calculating for the power loss, which is going to be considered to be as the on-state value. Okay, then at last, then you are going to have the power ratings defined. So the power ratings defined are going to be defined to be on these all these component dissipations. So one is going to be the forward conduction power loss, tone on switching loss, tone off switching loss, forward or reverse blocking power loss, and gate pulse triggering losses. Okay, so all these sum of all these components are going to be nothing but gives the power which is going to be wasted in the SCR. So one is going to be the forward conduction losses, reverse conduction losses, reverse blocking losses, gate circuit power losses, and switching losses. These two comes under the switching losses, conduction losses when the device is going to be in the conduction, and blocking losses and gate circuit power loss. So all these includes the power losses which is going to be included in the SCR while it is going to be in the conduction, while it is going to be in the transition state, while gate pulse is going to be applied. Okay. So you may consider the power losses can be represented like this depending upon the conduction angle. Okay, so what is this conduction angle here? The conduction angle is going to be as the triggering is going to be measured by the phase value of the supply. So phase value 0, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180 like that. Whenever the phase value is considered as a reference for the conduction, that particular method of control is considered to be as a phase angle control. In this particular phase angle control, you are going to have different the average power dissipated for this here like this. So 30 degrees, the power loss may be like this. 60 degrees, it could be 40, it would be somewhere like 40 milliwatts, and for 90 it could be somewhere like 50 milliwatts, and for 100 it could be somewhere like 60 milliwatts. That is milliwatts, or depending upon the cover rating it may be watts, and 180 it could be maximum. Okay, so why you are going to get this loss which is going to be increasing as the conduction is going to be, as the conduction angle is going to be considered, means whenever the conduction angle is going to be considered, so you are going to have the current rating, forward current rating, which is going to be increasing as the conduction angle is going to be considered to be of 180 degrees. There will not be any forward current, isn't it? So you are going to have the power loss which is going to be increasing. Okay, this can be considered while we are going to consider these converter circuits clearly. Okay, then as stated, you are going to have the tone off losses, tone on losses, and tone off losses defined. Okay, and the last one is going to be the gate power losses. And at last you are going to have the thermal ratings. So thermal ratings is going to be mostly related to the junction temperature. Always the junction temperature should be in a permissible value. If the junction temperature increases, then ultimately it leads to the damage, overheating of the junction. Ultimately the device is going to be blocked. Okay, so then you are going to have one more parameter related to the thermal impedance, that is going to be the temperature, transient thermal impedance. What is this transient thermal impedance? Means the resistance offered by the junction. The resistance offered by the junction is considered to be as the thermal impedance. Okay, so if its value is going to be less, if its value is going to be less, then you are going to have a much higher cooling. Okay, if its value is going to be high, then ultimately you will have a less cooling surface. Okay, so one thing to be identified here means always the thyristors will never be placed individually. When they are going to be connected in a circuit, they are going to be mounted onto a heat sink. They are going to be mounted onto a heat sink, a metallic surface provided with aluminum or some other alloy for simply dissipating of the heat. Okay, so there should be a good fabrication. There should be a good fabrication of both this semiconductor surface and the heat sink. If the thermal impedance value between these two is going to be high, then the temperature dissipation is going to be low. If the thermal impedance between these two is going to be low, then the cooling effect is going to be high. That means the temperature dissipation is going to be high. Okay, this is all related to the ratings. Okay, so whenever we need to consider an SCR for any applications, we need to know all these ratings. We need to know all these ratings. Okay, so whenever you are going to consider this here, you are going to you may consider the ratings, how they are going to be defined practically from these examples. 1 second. Okay, 1 second, please. You may have once. Okay, so so is the screen visible with the TIN 606, isn't it? Is the
Yes,
screen
sir.
visible here? Okay. So this is one of the specification sheet defined for the ACRs. Okay. So here in this case, this TYN simply states the thyristor. TYN is going to be nothing but the name which is used in the market for finding the thyristor. Okay. And these 606 and 106 are going to be the model numbers of the SCRs. Okay. If you are going to consider any SCR for any application, it may be either 405, it may be either 606, it may be either 1006, like that. Okay. If you are going to consider this 606, this 6 here represents the voltage value, blocking voltage value. Okay. So the 6 in terms of multiplication in terms of 100. So that means the maximum blocking voltage for this SCR is going to be 600 volts, isn't it? Okay. So if you are going to consider this last digit 6, that defines the current value, maximum allowable current. Okay. So T by N 606 is going to be nothing but a thyristor having a maximum blocking voltage of blocking voltage of 600 volts, operating at a maximum current of 6 amperes. Okay. If suppose if you are going to consider this 1006, isn't it? This 1006 is going to have, that is 10 multiplied by 100. So it is going to have a maximum forward voltage of blocking voltage of 1000 provided with a current of 6 amperes. Is it clear? Okay. Suppose if you are going to consider a thyristor of 302, it is going to have a maximum blocking voltage of 300 volts and 2 will be the current, maximum allowable current. Okay. So as we considered the voltage ratings, and current ratings, this is going to be the specification sheet defined for these two thyristors. Okay. So you may consider these ratings here. Okay. So you may consider the packaging of the SCR. The SCR is going to be packaged like this here. Okay, with cathode, anode and gate terminals, and its specifications are going to be like this. Okay. So the value of the current, RMS current value is going to be 6 amperes, isn't it? On state current value, average on state current value is going to be 3.8 amperes. Okay. Then on state surge peak current value, it will be, as stated, it will be 73 amps. Okay. It will be 73 amps. And as we consider the current rating as I square T ratings, so the I square T ratings is going to be 24.5 amps. Okay. So amp square per second, isn't it? Is it clear with these ratings here? Okay, then you make as I stated, we are going to consider the critical ratings of di by dt rating, isn't it? Di by dt rating is going to be 50 amps per microsecond. So that means this particular device is going to be working whenever the di by dt rating is going to be below 50 amps per microsecond. You may apply 20 amps per microsecond, you may apply 30 amps per microsecond, you may apply 100 amps per microsecond, but the di by dt rating should be always less than the defined value. So that means maximum this particular SCR maximum, one second, maximum this particular SCR is safely holding a di by rating of 50 amps per microsecond. Okay, so then operating temperatures, it is going to be minus 42 plus 150 degrees, and voltage specifications, as we know the voltage ratings. So the voltage ratings are going to be VDRM, VRRM. So for 606, what is this VDRM? That is going to be 600 volts. For 1006, it is going to be 1000 volts, isn't it? So the maximum voltages are going to be 600 volts, and the maximum for this 1006 is going to be 1000 volts. Okay. Similarly, you are going to have junction ambient junction temperatures, gate on-state gate requirements, voltages, currents. All these are going to be these here. Okay. So here the gate voltage source testing conditions, the gate voltage should be provided with 12 volts with a resistance value of 33 ohms, and the maximum gate current should be of 15 milliamps, 15 milliamps, and VGT, that is going to be the gate voltage of 1.5 volts, like that. And IL and IH, as I stated, this IL and IH, IL is going to be the latching current and IH is going to be the holding current. Generally this value IL, latching current value, is going to be always higher than the holding current value, and its value is going to be 50 milliamps here. Okay, 50 milliamps for the both the devices, and its current value is going to be, holding current value is going to be 30 milliamps. Okay, so somewhere it is going to be the difference is going to be 10 to 20 milliamps depending upon the operation. So you are going to have the IDRM, IRRM values like this, and dV by dt value. The dV by dt value is going to be 200 volts per microsecond, 200 volts per microsecond. Okay. So you are going to have different characteristics for different firing angles. This is going to be for the power dissipation. Okay, and all these are mostly not needed. Is it clear with the specifications what we seen earlier? So whatever we had seen earlier, those are specifications are going to be always defined for all the SCRs on the specification sheet, on the specification sheet. Okay, so if you are going to consider then another SCR, this is going to be a phase control thyristor provided for voltage of 6500 amperes, 6500 amperes. Okay, 6500 volts with a current rating of 1400 amperes. The SCR packaging is going to be like this. Okay, so if you consider the specifications here, you are going to have the voltage ratings of 6500 volts, 6200 volts, like that. Okay, and you are going to have the current rating to be defined as 1400 amperes. Okay, so all these specifications, you can observe all these specifications here. Peak repetitive voltages, on-state voltage, on-state current, on-state voltage drop, critical rise in the current value, and critical rise in the voltage value, peak gate power values. All these values are going to be here. Okay, so whenever we need to, what is the need for considering these specifications? Means whatever we are going to consider an SCR in a circuit, whenever we need to design a circuit, it may be a converter, it may be a resistor, it may be an inverter circuit or a converter circuit or a chopper circuit, anything. We may not simply consider a device based on the voltage which we are going to apply and current which we are going to draw. There may be certain transients, there may be certain uncertainties in voltages and currents. Those are also to be considered. Those are going to be defined in these specifications. Okay, so as the specifications are, if the specifications are going to be well known, okay, then we may choose a particular SCR which is going to operate under uncertain conditions also. Okay, all these comes under these all these comes under these voltage ratings and current ratings for the device. Okay, so then so one question, how to download the specifications PDF, isn't it? So that may be from 26, I think, in the chart. So specifications is simply you reach to the Google and you type the thyristor. Okay, simply one method is TYN. You simply identify the TYN number. The TYN simply represents the thyristor. If the voltage and current ratings are going to be known for a required application, you may consider that 600 volts, 606, 618, like that. You may get the PDFs which can be downloaded from different manufacturers. Or else simply you type SCR operating for 6000 volts with a current rating of 2000 amperes, like that. In that case also you will get the specifications. So I simply downloaded this specification sheet for the thyristor by simply searching the a thyristor operating for 6500 volts. Okay, thyristor operating for 6500 volts means you will get the different specifications from the different manufacturers. All the manufacturers are going to manufacturers are operating for that particular packaging of SCR is going to have a same specifications. So if you may have different packagings like rectangular packaging, you may have a square, circular packaging, or you may have some other packaging. Depending upon the packaging and depending upon the manufacturer, all the devices for same voltage and same packaging will have same specifications. There is no change. Okay, so this is related to the packagings, and you may consider this for operating. These are going to be two packagings. Okay, this is going to be the package which is going to be considered as 1625. So whenever you are going to consider this 1625, it is going to have a voltage rating of 600 volts and current sensitivity of 25 milliamps. Okay, so you may consider the ratings provided here. 16 amps, it will be 16 amps, and you will have all the specifications related to this. Okay, so power dissipations. Okay, all these are going to be downloaded. This 616 is going to be 16 amps for 600 voltage, and 816 is going to be for a voltage of 800 volts and 16 amperes. Okay, all this, and you may have different packages available. One is going to be this D square packing, and the other one is going to be TO 200 packing. Okay, this is going to be the specifications what we are going to consider. Okay, then why we are considering all these is going to be, these are going to be, whenever we need to choose, we need to consider all these specifications. Okay, then here you are going to have the other thing is going to be protection. Majorly out of all these specifications, we need to protect the device from two conditions. One is going to be di by dt protection, and the other one is going to be dv by dt protection. Okay, what happens if we are not going to consider this di by dt protection? If the value is going to be, as in the earlier example, we may have a current of 50 amperes per microsecond. That is the defined current. If suppose the current rating is going to be increased to 60 amps per microsecond, 60 amps per microsecond, then what will happen? Due to the rapid increase in the current rate, the junction temperature is going to be increasing rapidly, and it leads to the damage to the device. That is the first consequence of di by dt value. Then coming to the other, that is going to be the dv by dt value. If the dv by dt value is going to be much higher, if the dv by dt value is going to be much higher, then what happens means, it leads to the dv by, if dv by dt value is going to be increased suddenly, then it leads to nothing but it leads to the increase in the voltage beyond the breakover voltage. When the breakover voltage is going to be increased, then immediately the device comes to the conduction. The device comes to the conduction. So that means an unwanted or a false triggering happens. An unwanted or a false triggering happens. So what will happen? What could be the consequences of false triggering or unwanted triggering? Means the device is not intended to trigger at that particular point, but if the voltage rating is going to be high, the device is going to be triggered. Once the if the device is, if the device is triggered, then simply it leads to the short circuit of the short circuit. Whenever it is a short circuit, then it simply allows a huge current which damages the corresponding connected devices. It may be inductor, load, or anything. So majorly for reliable operation of the thyristors, out of all the specifications may not be exceeded in the ratings. Okay, majorly we need to protect the device from one di by dt protection and the other one dv by dt protection. These two are going to be protect. dv by dt protection leads to the temperature rise, and dv by dt leads to the unwanted triggering or false triggering. Okay, so due to this, ultimately that completely the circuit is going to be collapsed. So these two are going to be the basically considered, and here you are going to consider these protection circuits. Okay, the protection circuit here is going to be nothing but considered to be as a snubber circuit. Snubber circuit, SNUBBER, snubber circuit. What is the purpose of this snubber circuit? Means it simply limits the dv by dt value across the device. As we need to limit the dv by dt value across the device, always this circuit is going to be connected in parallel with the device. Okay, so how to limit this dv by dt? Simply we are going to connect a capacitor. The capacitor is going to limit the current dv by dt value. The capacitor is going to have a certain rise in the dv by dt value. Beyond its maximum charging, it simply acts as a, it is going to block the current dv by dt value. Okay, so a simple capacitor connected in parallel with the device acts as a dv by dt protection. Coming to the other, that is going to be the da by dt protection. An inductor is going to be connected in series with the device. An inductor, simply you can consider that here an inductor. This inductor is going to be the di by dt protecting device, and this capacitor here is going to be the dv by dt protection. Okay, so a normal SCR is connected to a load provided with a voltage source of Vs, positive and negative. To this, we need to consider the protection circuit. The protection circuit here is going to be simply connecting a capacitor in parallel and an inductor in series. Inductor serves to be as a di by dt protection. Capacitor serves to be as a dv by dt protection. Okay, but what is the need for this resistor here? What is the need for this resistor here? The need for the resistor here is to limit the discharge current, from the capacitor. Okay, so within 2 minutes I will close this. Okay, so before considering this, when this dv by dt happens and when this di by dt happens, that is to be identified. When these ratings are going to be identified, either the device is going to be in the conducting state or the device is going to be in the blocking state. Okay, always di by dt is going to be nothing but the current flowing through the device, isn't it? So di by dt protection comes when the device comes to the conduction, isn't it? So if the device is going to be in the off state, there is no di by dt value, just a simple leakage current flows through the device. First thing. Okay, second thing, whenever you are going to consider the device in the blocking state, then the forward voltage is going to be increasing gradually. isn't it? If the forward voltage, rate of increase of forward voltage is going to be high, then what will happen? Then if the dV by dt value is going to be high, then the device is going to be triggered, isn't it? So that means this dV by dt protection is going to be needed when the device is going to be in the blocking state. Is it clear? Okay. So what are going to be the basic protections employed for the device? The basic protections employed for the device are going to be the dV by dt protection and di by dt protection. dV by dt protection is going to be considered when the device is going to be in the blocking state. When the device is going to be in the blocking state. Okay. Whenever we are going to consider the di by dt protection, di by dt protection is going to be considered when the device is going to be in the conducting state. Okay, is it clear? Okay, so this capacitor is going to have the operation when the device is going to be in the on state. Okay, this inductor is going to be, sorry, this capacitor is going to have the operation when the device is going to be in the blocking state. Okay, this inductor is going to have the operation when the device is going to be in the conduction state. Okay, so here we need to consider then how to choose this capacitor, inductance value, capacitance value, and this resistance value. What is the purpose of this resistor here? That we will consider in the next session, and how to choose the values of those. How to choose these values of those. That values are going to be considered in the next section. Okay, so is there is anything uncleared in the topics which we considered here? The primary motto of the device snapper circuit is to protect from the dV by dt value. Okay, not di by dt value. Okay. Okay, we may consider the other topics in the we may consider the other related to the derivation of the design of the snapper circuit in the next session. Okay,